I took the night security job because it was easy money. That's what I told myself. The high school had been closed for renovations since late 2025. New wiring, new security systems, smart locks, smart lights, smart everything. Except no students, no teachers, just me and the cameras. The building sits on the edge of the city, just far enough from the subway line that you can hear the trains rumble faintly underground if you stand still in the right hallway. At night, it feels detached from the world, like it doesn't quite belong to the city anymore. My shift runs from 10:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. The first 2 hours are normal. I walk the halls, check doors, listen to the hum of fluorescent lights. Sometimes the HVAC system clicks on suddenly and echoes through the empty classrooms like a distant cough. Nothing unusual, just an abandoned school settling into the dark. The weird part starts at midnight, exactly midnight, not 11:59, not 12:01, midnight. The security system automatically refreshes at 12 a.m. That's when the cameras start working. And I put that in quotes because technically they're on all night. But before midnight, every hallway feed is blank, static, frozen frames, no recording. The first time I noticed it, I thought it was a glitch. I was in the security office, a small, windowless room near the main entrance. 3 walls of monitors, 16 feeds, blue-green glow lighting the desk, coffee gone cold in my hand. At 11:58 p.m., the screens showed nothing but static. At 12 a.m., all 16 cameras flickered on at once. Clear, crisp, perfect resolution, like they'd been waiting. I remember laughing. "Good timing," I muttered. I leaned back in the chair, watched the empty hallways, lockers lined up like teeth, classroom doors shut tight, exit signs glowing red. Then I noticed something strange. Camera 7, second floor science wing. The angle looked off, like the hallway was longer than it should be. The perspective stretched, as if someone had pulled it slightly. I zoomed in. The lockers looked normal, but the far end of the corridor, it faded into shadow too quickly. The lights didn't reach as far as they should. I checked the timestamp, 12:03 a.m. The system was recording, and the hallway was empty. Until it wasn't. At 12:05 a.m., something moved. Far down the corridor, at the very edge of the frame, a dark shape, crossing from left to right, slow, too smooth. I froze, stared at the screen, rewound the footage, played it again. There it was, a tall silhouette, no details, just darker than the darkness behind it. I grabbed my flashlight, radio clipped to my belt, went upstairs. The science wing smelled like dust and cleaning solution. My footsteps echoed. The overhead lights buzzed faintly, every locker closed, every classroom locked. I walked to the end of the hall. Nothing. No movement. No open doors. Just silence pressing in on my ears. When I got back to the office, the cameras were still on, but camera 7 was normal again. No stretched hallway, no shadow. I told myself it was compression artifacting, digital distortion, new system bugs. I wish it had stayed that simple. The second night, I didn't feel nervous, just curious. I watched the clock like I was waiting for a show to start. 11:59 p.m., static. 12 a.m., all cameras flicked on, simultaneously. This time I paid closer attention. Camera 3, main stairwell. Camera 12, gym entrance. Camera 7, science wing again. At 12:02 a.m., something changed. Camera 3 showed movement, a figure descending the stairs. Slow, hand gliding along the railing. But I hadn't heard anything. The stairwell echoes like a drum. Even a mouse sounds loud in there. The timestamp read 12:02, but my watch said 12:04. I leaned forward, rewound. The feed didn't rewind. It stayed live, but the timestamp shifted backward. 12:01, 12:00, 11:59. The cameras were showing footage from earlier, from before midnight, from when they were supposedly off. And in that footage, the stairwell wasn't empty. The figure reached the bottom step, turned slowly, faced the camera. No face, just shadow, but I could feel it looking straight at me. The screen flickered. The timestamp corrected itself. 12:05 a.m. The stairwell empty again. I stood up. My chair rolled back and hit the wall with a dull thud. The sound felt too loud in the tiny room. I stepped into the hallway outside the office. The school felt different, heavier, like the air pressure had changed. A locker door slammed somewhere upstairs, sharp, metallic, echoing. My heart started pounding, not fast, heavy, each beat thick in my chest. I walked toward the stairwell. Every step sounded distant, detached, like I was hearing myself from inside a tunnel. The stairwell was empty, but one thing was wrong. The railing. It was warm, like someone had just been holding it. When I returned to the office, camera 3 showed the stairwell again, but this time, the figure was standing at the bottom, looking up, toward where I had just been. The timestamp read 12:07 a.m., but my watch read 12:09. The cameras were 2 minutes behind, and catching up. On the fourth night, I decided not to leave the office. If something was happening, I wanted to see it start. At 11:59 p.m., I watched the static. My palms were damp, my throat dry. Midnight, the monitors came alive. All 16 feeds, every hallway, every classroom entrance, every stairwell, and every single one had someone in it. Not moving, just standing. At the far end of each corridor, 16 figures, all the same height, same posture, facing the camera. My stomach dropped. Cold sweat crawled down my spine. I counted them twice. 16, one for each feed. The timestamp read 12 a.m. exactly. None of them moved, but something about them felt wrong. Their proportions, too long, arms slightly extended, heads tilted just enough to look unnatural. The camera quality was sharp, clear, no glitching. I checked the live audio feed. Nothing. No footsteps, no breathing, no fabric shifting, just silence. At 12:01 a.m., they all stepped forward at the same time. Every single one. My chair scraped back as I stood up. I couldn't breathe properly. Each inhale felt shallow, like the room was losing oxygen. They took another step, closer to each camera. Then I noticed something worse. Camera 16, the security office hallway. A figure stood outside my door. I hadn't heard anything, not a single footstep. The timestamp read 12:02 a.m. My watch read 12:02 a.m. They were synchronized now. The doorknob rattled, soft, testing. The camera feed glitched briefly. For half a second, I saw inside the office, from above. And I saw myself, standing, facing the monitors. But in that overhead angle, there was something behind me. The feed cut back. The hallway outside the office was empty. All 16 feeds were empty again. The timestamp read 12:03 a.m. Everything normal, except the door to the office was slightly open, and I never touched it. I tried to quit the next day. I really did. But the school administration said they needed coverage. Just 2 more weeks. Temporary contract, easy money. I didn't tell them about the cameras. I didn't tell anyone. Because how do you explain that? The security system shows people who aren't there. So I went back. But this time, I brought my phone. I planned to record the monitors. Proof. 11:59 p.m. Static. 12 a.m. The feeds turned on. The hallways were empty. I felt relief. Actual relief. Maybe it was over. Then the timestamp froze. 12 a.m. Not moving. Every monitor switched to a single feed. Camera 7. Science wing. The hallway was darker than usual. The lockers looked warped, stretched upward, and someone was walking toward the camera. It was me. Same jacket, same flashlight clipped to my belt, same tired expression. The timestamp on the footage read 12 a.m., but the timestamp in the corner of my phone recording read 12:04 a.m. I watched myself walk down the hall, stop, turn toward the camera, and smile. I never smile at work. The version of me in the feed leaned closer to the camera, mouth moving, like whispering something. The audio kicked in, a low crackling. Then, my voice. You shouldn't have stayed. The monitors went black, all at once. The lights in the office flickered, then went out. I was standing in complete darkness, except for the glow of my phone. And on my phone screen, the camera app had switched. It was recording me from behind. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. The recording showed the office, the monitors, me standing there, and a figure directly behind me, almost touching my back. Its head tilted, watching the screen, watching me watch it. I dropped the phone. The screen cracked. The recording stopped. The lights snapped back on. The office was empty. The monitors showed static. The timestamp read 12:07 a.m. I left the school that night, didn't clock out, didn't lock up, just walked, out the front doors, into the cold city air. Could hear a subway train passing underground. Distant, normal, real. But as I reached the sidewalk, my phone buzzed. A notification from the school security app. Camera activity detected. I shouldn't have opened it, but I did. All 16 feeds were active. Every hallway, every stairwell, every classroom entrance. And in each one, a figure stood, facing the camera. The timestamp read 12:12 a.m., and the version of me in the feed slowly turned, looked directly into the camera, then leaned forward, whispered something. The audio came through my phone speaker, crackling, distorted. We're synchronized now. The screen went black. I deleted the app, deleted the recording, quit the job. But sometimes, after midnight, my phone screen lights up. No notification, no app open. Just the front camera active, for a split second. And in that reflection, I see the office behind me. Monitors glowing, 16 hallways, and someone standing just outside the frame. Tell me something. If a camera shows you somewhere you aren't, how do you know which version is real? Have you ever checked a security camera feed after midnight? I lasted 6 days after I quit. 6 days pretending it didn't happen. 6 days sleeping with my phone face down. 6 days avoiding anything with a camera, subway security domes, storefront mirrors, even my laptop webcam. I covered it with tape. But midnight kept finding me. The first night home, my apartment was quiet, too quiet. No sirens outside, no neighbors arguing through thin walls, no HVAC clicking on, just the faint hum of the refrigerator. At 11:59 p.m., my lights flickered. Just once, a subtle dip. I froze in bed, staring at the ceiling, telling myself it was the building wiring. Old infrastructure, normal. 12 a.m. My TV turned on by itself. Static. I didn't own cable. The screen shouldn't have shown anything, but the static wasn't random. It pulsed, like breathing. And then, the static resolved into something familiar. 16 split screens, the school. Every hallway, every stairwell, every classroom entrance. All active, all empty. The timestamp read 12 a.m. exactly. I grabbed the remote, turned the TV off. It came back on. This time, camera 16, the security office. The office chair slowly rotated toward the monitors. No one sitting in it, but it moved, like someone had just stood up. My stomach tightened. Cold prickled across my arms. A notification buzzed on my phone, even though I deleted the app, even though I deleted everything. You left before the shift ended. The sender ID was blank. No number, no name, just the school logo as the contact image. The TV volume increased on its own. Low, crackling audio, then footsteps, echoing down the science wing. I muted it. The footsteps continued, muted, still audible, not from the TV, from my hallway. Slow, measured, the same rhythm as when I walked the school corridors. I sat up. My heart was beating hard enough to hurt. My apartment hallway is short, 5 steps from bedroom to living room. But that night, it looked longer, stretched, the perspective wrong, exactly like camera 7. The overhead light flickered once, twice, then stabilized. My phone buzzed again. All cameras active. I opened it before I could stop myself. The security app was back, installed, logged in. 16 feeds, but the angles were different. They weren't the school, they were my apartment. Camera 1, my front door. Camera 2, kitchen. Camera 3, bathroom. Camera 4, hallway. Camera 5, bedroom. 16 total. Angles that didn't exist. Ceiling corners I didn't have. Overhead views impossible in this layout. And in each feed, I was visible. Standing in the bedroom, looking at my phone. But I wasn't standing, I was sitting on the bed. The feed showed me rising slowly, walking toward the hallway. My real body didn't move, but the version in the feed kept walking. Camera 4 showed the hallway, stretched, too long. At the far end, a figure stood, facing the camera. The version of me in the feed walked toward it, unafraid, like it recognized something. The timestamp read 12:02 a.m. My phone clock read 12:02 a.m. Perfect sync. The figure at the end of the hallway stepped forward, and its proportions shifted. It wasn't a shadow anymore. It was a person. Me, but taller. Limbs slightly too long, neck slightly elongated, smile slightly too wide. The version of me in the feed stopped inches away from it. They stared at each other. Then, they merged. The screen flickered. All 16 feeds updated. Now there was only one version of me, standing in the hallway, looking directly at the camera, looking at me. My real hallway light flickered again. The air pressure in the room changed. My ears popped slightly. From the living room, I heard the faintest sound. A chair rolling across hardwood. Slow. Measured. The same sound my security office chair made when I stood up. I couldn't breathe properly. My lungs felt shallow, heavy. The feed zoomed in on my hallway. The version of me stepped closer to the camera. The phone in my hand felt warm, too warm. Then the front-facing camera activated again. No notification, no indicator, just suddenly, my reflection filled the screen. Except, it wasn't mirrored, it was delayed. I blinked. The reflection blinked half a second later. I swallowed. The reflection swallowed after me. Then it smiled, before I did. Behind the reflection, I saw my bedroom and the doorway. Something stepped into frame. Tall, dark, head tilted. I spun around. My real doorway was empty, but when I looked back at the phone, the figure was closer, right behind the reflection. Its hand lifted slowly, placed against the back of the reflection's shoulder, and the reflection leaned slightly forward, as if being pulled. My real body stayed still, but my knees felt weak, like gravity had shifted. The phone speaker crackled, low distortion, then my own voice again. We're synchronized now. The lights in my apartment went out, total darkness, except for the phone screen, still glowing, still showing my delayed reflection. The reflection stepped backward, out of frame, into darkness, and the camera feed switched. 16 split screens again, all of them, my apartment, from impossible angles. And in every single feed, I was standing somewhere different. In the kitchen, in the bathroom, in the hallway, in the bedroom. 16 versions, all slightly out of sync. At 12:05 a.m., they all turned toward the camera at the same time. The real darkness in my apartment felt heavier, closer, like the walls were breathing. Then, from somewhere behind me, I heard footsteps. Soft, measured, matching the rhythm from the school stairwell. I didn't turn around. I knew what would be there. My phone vibrated violently. The screen flashed white, then black. The security app displayed one final message: shift complete. The lights snapped back on. My apartment was normal. Still, silent. The phone screen was blank. No app, no feed, no notification history. But my hallway was slightly longer than it used to be. And sometimes, when I walk past mirrors after midnight, my reflection doesn't blink at the same time. Sometimes it tilts its head, just slightly. Sometimes it looks like it's waiting for me to catch up. Tell me something. If something watches you long enough, at the same time, every night, and learns your movements, at what point does it stop recording and start replacing? If you have cameras in your house, just check them once. After midnight, tell me what you see. Because if it's empty, that might be worse. And if it's not, make sure you move before your reflection does.